All right, so you want to know how to market your family law firm on social media in 2025.
Well, you're in luck.
We're diving deep into the 10th Social Law Firm Index.
The SLFI.
It's basically the Bible for how the top firms are using social media.
And we're talking top 200 U.S. law firms.
And we're going to break it all down for you so you can level up your marketing game.
I mean, this report has been tracking social media trends in the legal world for nearly a decade.
Almost 10 years.
But it gets even more interesting.
So get this. The company behind the SLFI,
Good to be social.
right, Good to be Social, was recently acquired by Best Lawyers.
Yeah, that best lawyers, the ones with all the rankings and legal industry knowledge.
This isn't some random blog post.
No way.
We're talking serious data analysis here.
Exactly. So they're combining Good to be Social's social media expertise with best lawyers' deep understanding of the legal world.
Powerful combination.
Really powerful.
For our listeners, this means the insights in this report are backed by data
Real data.
and a deep understanding of what works in the legal landscape.
And what doesn't.
It's like having a whole team of consultants whispering secrets in your ear.
Exactly.
But they didn't stop there. This year, they've doubled down on the data.
They added 2 new surveys to the mix.
Wow, two.
One that directly polls law firms themselves.
Through the Best Law Firm survey.
Right. And then another separate survey that gets the perspective from the chief marketing officer.
The CMOs.
Exactly.
So we're getting insights from both the people on the ground and those with a big picture view.
a 360-degree view of the landscape.
I love that. What trends are jumping out at you from the SLFI? What are some of the aha moments?
Well, one thing that's consistent throughout the report is the emphasis on client-centric content.
Okay, so it's not just about tooting your own horn anymore.
Not at all. It's all about providing real value to your potential clients.
So less about bragging about awards and more about addressing the needs of, let's say, someone going through a divorce.
Exactly. Think about blog posts answering FAQs about child custody.
Oh, good
Or client success stories on social media.
Showing how your firm helped families navigate difficult situations.
Right. Or even short videos explaining things like alimony.
So it's about positioning yourself as a resource.
Someone who understands what your ideal client is going through.
Let's get specific. Let's say our listener is trying to attract clients who are dealing with child custody issues.
Okay, sure.
What's an example of content that would resonate with that audience?
Well, imagine a series of short, engaging videos on TikTok.
Or Instagram Reels.
Yeah, where you answer common questions about custody arrangements.
Okay, I like
You
it.
could offer tips for effective co-parenting.
Explain the different types of custody in simple terms.
Right, or even share stories of how you've helped families successfully navigate this process.
Keep it real, relatable, and valuable.
Exactly.
So we've got the client-centric content down. What else?
Well, engagement is key.
I knew you were going to say that.
We all love those likes and shares, right?
Of course.
But what do they really tell us?
I mean, they're fun, but is there something deeper?
They're actually a measure of how well your content is resonating with your audience.
It's like taking the temperature of your social media, right?
If people are liking, commenting, and sharing your posts, you know you're hitting the mark.
Reaching the right people.
Exactly.
So how can our listener use this information to improve their strategy, especially for family law clients?
Well, you need to figure out what type of content is driving the engagement.
Okay, so look for patterns.
Are people responding more to personal stories?
Legal tips.
Behind-the-scenes glimpses of your firm?
So maybe they love those quick tips on Instagram Reels.
Or maybe they prefer in-depth blog posts about complex legal issues.
Once you know it works, you do more of it.
Right. Experiment, find your voice, and let your personality shine through.
Authenticity is so important, especially in family law.
Absolutely. And that leads us to another big trend that SLFI emphasizes.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Tracking campaign performance.
This is where it gets a bit more technical, right?
It is. You need to have clear goals for your social media campaigns.
What are you trying to achieve?
Are you trying to generate leads?
Increase brand awareness.
Drive traffic to your website.
So you set your goals, and then what?
You need to use metrics to measure whether you're achieving them.
So let's say our listener is running a campaign about divorce mediation on Facebook.
Okay, good example.
What specific metrics should they be watching?
Well, click-through rates are crucial.
How many people are clicking on the links in your posts?
Exactly. And are those clicks turning into calls or consultations?
Form submissions on your website.
That's your conversion rate.
And of course, are you getting new leads from this campaign?
You need to be able to track that.
So we're not talking about vanity metrics. We're
Yeah.
talking about real, tangible results.
Absolutely, especially for smaller firms.
Why is this data so important for our listener?
It all comes down to making sure your marketing dollars are working for you.
You don't want to waste money on something that's not effective.
If a campaign isn't generating leads or driving conversions, you can adjust your strategy.
You can even cut your losses and focus on something else.
Right, and when you see a campaign that's working well, you double down on it.
Makes sense. It's about being smart and strategic.
And using data to make informed decisions.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. It's not just about posting randomly and hoping for the best.
Not at all. You need a clear strategy.
You need to understand your audience
Create client-centric content.
and use data to track your progress.
Exactly. The 10th Social Law Firm Index is like a roadmap to success
It can guide you through the world of legal marketing.
and help you turn those likes and shares into real clients.
So, as we were prepping for this deep dive, something in the SLFI really struck me.
What's that?
They're not just talking about using social media for marketing anymore. They're talking about actual client acquisition.
It is a big shift. Law firms have, always used social media to build awareness, share thought leadership, but getting clients through those platforms, especially in family law. Right. It is.
Often emotionally charged.
Oh, yeah.
People going through divorce or custody battles.
Yeah.
They're looking for someone they can trust.
Absolutely.
Someone who understands what they're going through.
That's where that client-centric approach
Yeah.
is so important.
Yeah.
When you're creating content that really helps people,
Right.
answers their questions, offers support and guidance,
Yeah.
you build that trust,
You do.
which can lead to those
Yeah.
valuable client relationships.
But how do you measure that?
How do you actually know
Yeah.
which social media efforts are bringing in new clients?
Right.
Right. That's where data-driven strategies are so important.
Okay.
The SLFI,
Yeah.
it looks at metrics like client acquisition cost,
Yeah.
average time of conversion,
Okay.
cost per lead.
Mm-hmm.
They even suggest some tools for tracking this.
Okay.
Google Analytics,
Nah.
Sprout Social,
Yeah.
BuzzSumo,
Okay.
IZEA.
Sounds like family lawyers might need to learn a little bit about analytics
Yeah, it's not just about posting a nice story.
and hoping for the best.
No, you need to understand how people are
Yeah.
interacting with your content.
Right.
So you can see what's working, what's not,
Yeah.
and you can refine your approach.
Okay, I think it's really interesting how the two new surveys in this year's SLFI,
Yeah.
the law firm survey and the CMO survey, they really shed some light
They do.
on this client acquisition piece.
Right.
What are they telling us about how the top firms are approaching this?
I think the CMO survey is really interesting. It shows how leading law firms are treating social media like a serious marketing channel.
With budgets and targets.
Yeah, and a real focus on ROI. They're setting goals,
Okay.
tracking their progress, using data to make decisions.
So they're not just
Throwing things at the wall?
and seeing what sticks.
No.
They have a plan,
They're approaching it strategically.
like any other marketing channel.
Exactly.
And it's working.
Yeah, they're seeing a direct connection between their social media efforts
Okay.
and new clients.
So great information.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that our listener walks away
Yeah.
with something they can actually use
Right.
if they're running a family law firm and they want to implement these insights.
Yeah.
Where should they start?
Okay, well, first,
What are the actual steps?
they need to focus on their ideal client.
Okay.
Like, who are they trying to reach?
Yeah.
What are their needs, their pain points, their fears? What keeps them up at night? Once you understand your target audience,
Yeah.
then you can start creating content
Oh.
that really speaks to their concerns.
So it's not about just broadcasting.
No, it's about creating
Yeah.
a targeted experience.
So if I'm a family lawyer specializing in collaborative divorce,
Okay.
my content should be tailored to couples
Right.
who are looking for a less adversarial approach.
Exactly. You want to position yourself as an expert
Yeah.
in collaborative divorce,
Right.
highlighting its benefits, sharing stories of successful outcomes.
Okay. Got it.
Your content should educate,
Yeah.
empower, instill confidence.
Okay. So we've got the target audience.
Right.
We're creating the content.
Choose the right platforms.
Okay.
You don't need to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Focus on the platform
Yeah.
where your clients are. Maybe it's Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
LinkedIn,
Okay.
or even TikTok.
TikTok. Okay.
It all depends on your audience.
Makes sense.
And once you're on those platforms,
Yeah.
be consistent,
Okay.
post regularly,
Mm-hmm.
engage with your followers,
Yeah.
let your personality come through.
Right. People connect with people,
Yeah. Not faceless law firms.
especially in family law.
Yeah, where emotions run high.
Right.
You're not just selling legal services.
You're offering support.
Yeah, and guidance and hope during a really challenging time.
Social media gives you that platform
Yes.
to build that connection.
Exactly. And don't forget about data.
Oh, right. The data.
You got to track your results.
Yeah.
Analyze the data.
Uh-huh.
Adjust your strategies.
So what kind of content's working?
Right. What's getting the most engagement?
Yeah.
Which platforms are driving the most leads?
Right.
Use this information.
To refine the approach.
Right.
Yeah.
And maximize your ROI.
So it's not just posting randomly.
Nope.
You got to be strategic.
It's about being
Yeah.
data-driven.
Using social media
Yeah.
to create a funnel for clients.
Exactly. And remember, social media is a long game. It takes time.
To build that trust.
Yeah, you got to cultivate relationships.
But it's worth it.
It is if you're consistent,
Yeah.
authentic,
Uh-huh.
and focused on providing value
You'll see results.
in the long run.
This has been really insightful.
It has.
I think we've given our listeners
I think so.
a lot to think about
Yeah,
and some strategies to use.
definitely.
All right, so we've talked about a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
Client-centric content, data-driven strategies, even using social media for recruitment.
Yeah.
What are the big takeaways for our listeners?
Well, the legal marketing world, it's changing fast.
It is.
Social media isn't just a nice to have anymore.
Yeah.
It's essential, especially for family lawyers.
You really got to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and use these tools.
Build your practice.
The firms that are winning,
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones using data, focusing on clients
Yeah.
and building real relationships.
It's about connecting with people
Yeah, showing that you get them.
and their challenges.
Right.
Being a trusted advisor.
This all makes sense, but I want to make sure our listeners,
Uh-huh.
they can actually use this.
Okay.
If they're a family lawyer,
Yeah.
what can they do today to use these insights?
First, you got to define your ideal client.
Like, really nail that down. Who are you trying to reach?
Right. What are their needs?
What are their pain points?
Okay.
Once you know your audience,
Yeah.
you can create content that speaks to them.
It's about a targeted experience.
Exactly, not just a general message.
So if I'm a family lawyer
Mm-hmm.
who does collaborative divorce,
Okay.
my content should be for couples who want that approach.
Yeah, a less adversarial way to end their marriage.
You want to be the expert in collaborative divorce.
Right, you highlight the benefits,
Mhm.
share success stories.
Your content should make them feel confident.
Exactly, educated and empowered.
So we've got the audience.
Okay.
We're making the content. What's next?
Choose the right platforms.
You don't have to be on all of them.
Nope, focus on where your ideal clients are.
Makes sense.
Maybe it's Facebook, Instagram,
Nah.
LinkedIn, even TikTok.
Right.
And once you're there,
Yeah.
be consistent,
Post regularly.
engage with people.
Show your personality.
People want to connect with people.
Not some faceless law firm.
Right, especially in family law.
It's all about building trust.
Absolutely.
And don't forget the data.
The data, yes.
You got to track your results.
Look at what's working.
What's not?
See which platforms are bringing in the most leads.
So you can refine your approach.
Exactly. It's not about just posting randomly.
You have to be strategic.
Data-driven.
This is about creating a system.
A funnel to get those clients.
And remember, social media takes time.
It's a long game,
You have to build those relationships.
but it's worth it.
If you're consistent, you're authentic.
You focus on value.
You'll see those results.
Eventually,
This has been a really interesting look at the SLFI.
it really has.
We've given our listeners a lot to think about.
Some practical strategies.
If you want to dive even deeper,
Uh-huh.
check out the full 10th Social Law Firm Index Report
It's got tons of information.
to take your marketing to the next level.
Couldn't agree more.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
For another deep dive.
Into the world of legal marketing.